Hey, I made a PC case.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Let me guide you through the process and show how I made it possible. It all started when I shared my first small case online, and I got a message from Caleb, also known as Fox and Train. He had this idea, a compact case inspired by Kumiko-style patterns and warm, natural colors. Caleb lives in Singapore, runs a small 3D printer farm, and makes custom printed models. A lot of his work already had a very clear visual direction, especially around Kumiko-style decorative patterns. And he wanted to bring that language into a PC case. He sent me a few sketches, and I immediately felt that this was something more interesting than just another compact PC enclosure. It had an actual visual identity right from the beginning, and I just agreed to work on one. So the split was simple. Caleb would focus on the outer shell and the visual language of the case, while I would focus on the internal engineering, the structure that would hold the motherboard, power supply, graphics card, cooler, and everything else. From my side, the goal was not just to make an internal frame that worked for one single build. I called that internal structure the rack. It was a printed plastic frame made of rectangular parts with holes and heat-set inserts. And I wanted it to have some flexibility built into it from the beginning. The idea was not to make a rigid one-off structure, but something that could, within a reason, be adjusted, shortened, extended, or adapted to slightly different layouts or use case scenario. At the same time, I wanted this project to be realistic, for normal people to print, and that meant designing around common Bambu lab printers with a standard 256 by 256mm print bed, because not everyone has access to a large format machine. So right away, the case was being shaped by two goals that were constantly fighting each other. I wanted flexibility, but I also wanted it to remain printable on a normal machine. That tension defined a lot of the project. Luckily, Caleb already had CAD for CPU cooler, motherboard and GPU, and all of it was already inside one assembly. That made it much easier to start because I could build the rack around real hardware dimensions from the beginning. I started prototyping the frame in transparent PETG, and we got the first skeleton prototype. It's not perfect, has a lot of issues, and I just need to solve them. As it always happens with 3D printing, nothing works from the first try, so let's go for the iteration number 2. I ruled out PLA pretty quickly, because even though this case had a strong visual side, it still had to function as a real PC case. And inside a PC, especially with more powerful hardware, temperatures can get high enough that PLA starts to feel like the wrong choice over time. So PETG made much more sense. I printed the full frame, tested a few heat-set inserts, failed a couple of parts. By the end, I had something I could actually assemble and check for strength. That was the first moment where the project stopped being just an idea in CAD and started becoming something real, something you could touch. Once this transparent PETG rack was ready, I shared its drawings with Caleb so he could design more of the outer shell. And oh boy, did he do something! He designed the whole outer structure, the whole shell, the whole visual identity, and it looked just awesome. He also sent me a few renders of it. And at that point, I realized this color palette wasn't just warm home colors or furniture colors. It really looked like Noctua, the famous fan and cooling manufacturer, and it just clicked. I have a pretty tiny channel, a very small number of subscribers, but I decided to take a chance and sent them an email. I asked whether they would be interested in collaborating and helping this PC case happen. And they actually replied. That was very surprising, and they asked what hardware I wanted to use, what materials I wanted to use, and they even suggested their new PLA made in collaboration with Prusa. I sent them the part list I intended to use, and at that point the communication just stopped. I'm not sure if I did something wrong. Maybe the fact that I'm currently located in China mattered, maybe they don't have an official representation here, maybe the channel was simply too small. I don't know. Anyway, it didn't go farther than the initial emails, and I already had a few regular black fans laying around, and I didn't want to spend that much of the budget on fans, so I decided to just use what I already had. So this did not become an octa build, unfortunately. Then I started printing the outer shell and fitting everything together. It was relatively good, and I had a few good ideas of how to redesign it and make it complete, but unfortunately that still required some attention from Caleb. So I shared my thoughts, shared my ideas, sent him 3D models, and waited. After some time, he got back to me and explained that he had some life circumstances, as we all do. That meant he could not continue the project at full speed. He had to focus on work, on life, and different things. I was kinda left on my own with it. So I needed to design everything by myself and finish it. That actually set me off for quite some time, because I didn't really know what to do next. I was left alone the project, and I switched to other work for a while, but I didn't want to drop this PC case completely because I really liked the idea, I really liked the design, so I was determined. I was determined to finish it and just needed to pause and think. And then I continued. I 3D printed the 3-piece outer enclosure. In terms of print quality, it came out pretty good, but once I started assembling it, I quickly realized that the gaps between the 3 large sections were just too bad, and the pieces didn't hold together properly, so I started redesigning it again. That took quite some time, but during that redesign I realized something important. If I can use the diagonal of the print bed to get more real estate in 2 dimensions, then I can use the diagonal of a cube to get even longer parts of the printer volume.
It's free real estate.
And that's how I came up with the idea of printing 4 corners separately, and then locking everything else between them. That's what I did. First, I printed the test part in PLA. It came out pretty good. It didn't fit perfectly on the actual rack, but it was already clear that this was the right direction. So I made custom supports for it, printed it at PETG, and tried again. And it fit like a glove. So I printed all 4 of them and attached them to the case, and at that point I had the solution. I just needed to print the remaining parts and fit everything together. Next, once most of the case and its engineering choices were obvious, I worked on the front panel because I needed it to look good and stay close to the concept we had initially. I made it out of many lamels printed in one color, plus the main part they all mount into. Then I also needed the front panel PCB with the power switch, LEDs, Type-C, USB 3.0 and the 3.5mm jack. That part wasn't really hard, it was just tedious because it meant printing many parts and checking the fitment again and again. I made it the way that it allows just to press fit it into the place. But if something goes wrong and screws are needed, the places for them are already inside. There is also one more detail I want to mention about the outer shell and the side panels. Originally, the idea was to use Kumiko-style side panels, because that was really part of Caleb's initial visual concept. But when I ended up finishing the project on my own, I decided not to use his side panel idea directly. Instead, I made the side panels with my own pattern. In a way, this is my tribute to Caleb because I didn't want to just take that exact visual idea and finish it without him. So the base version of the case uses my own side panel pattern. I also printed those panels laying flat on my H2D, which obviously goes against the 256mm logic I described earlier for smaller printers. But I also printed a few successful test parts standing on the X1C, so it is possible to make them on a regular 3D printer as well. What I want to do later once I put this project online is leave space for Caleb to make his own Kumiko side panels and add them later if he wants to. That way people will be able to download and switch the design if they prefer his original direction. At that point, it was really just final assembly. I marked all the parts so later I can make a proper 3D model package for you guys, exact names for everything, and then I assembled it into one whole piece. And here we go. This is the complete PC case. now I want to sum it up using an advantages and disadvantages approach, because this case is not perfect at all. It definitely has strong sides and weak sides. So let's start with the strong sides. First of all, it's customizable. All these parts fit on a regular 256mm class 3D printer, which means you can print them on most modern machines, and that's already a big advantage. The rack itself is also scalable. The distance between the holes is 10mm. That means if you want more space inside, you can increase the size by 10. Cut it at one point, add a piece, and get a larger case. The same goes for making it smaller. You can cut a section and shrink it down. And since the outer shell more or less wraps around the rack symmetrically, you can scale the shell in a similar way as well. So the case is scalable and can be adapted for different purposes, not indefinitely, of course, because you still have printer size limitations, shrinking, warping. But if you have a bigger printer, you can try MATX or even ATX. And spoiler alert, I think that's what I'm going to do next, MATX. My H2D print bed might be big enough to fit those parts for MATX and maybe for ATX sizes. Now, let's talk about disadvantages. First, it's plastic. It's not wood, it's not metal, it's not premium material, it's plastic. I tried very hard to make it look as good as possible and match the direction of the fuzzy skin grain where I could. I tried to hide layer lines as much as possible, and I wanted the outer shell to look manufactured rather than obviously printed. And honestly, most people cannot tell the difference right away, that it is 3D printed, even people who have experience with 3D printers. But when you look very close, you actually can. The second, this is not a simple print. Some parts have to be placed diagonally. Some parts are literally standing in the printer volume, which is not ideal for mass production on a printer farm or something like that, because it takes time and uses support material. But this is what makes the design possible on smaller printers and also helps achieve the look I wanted. Third, this is not a simple customization project if you do not have CAD skills. I will not be able to make parametric models for it. I simply do not know how to do so, and I do not have the software for that. So what you'll get are step files, as they are. That means if you want to customize the case and you do not have at least some basic CAD skills, you probably won't be able to do much on your own. And this is also not something I will be able to support endlessly by making 10 or 20 iterations for different people and uploading them all online. So yes, that is another disadvantage. You need at least some skill if you want to really adapt this thing for your own purposes. And overall, this is not a beginner project. It takes time, material, patience, and a bit of understanding of how 3D printing behaves. So even though this project took much more time than I expected, and even though it changed direction a few times, I'm glad I finished it. I hope it can be useful for some people and maybe inspiring for others. And I think that's a pretty good ending for a project like this. A complete thing.